Hello, welcome to the beautiful Boise State Esports Arena, where tonight we have some Mountain West Conference Collegiate Overwatch for you to watch, where we have two bitter rivals going at it. We have the Boise State Overwatch Esports team going against the UNLV Overwatch team as well. A pretty broad history of these teams going back and forth at it, being teams that have held the conference title back and forth going at it with each other. So there's a lot of history and a lot of dynamic to tonight's match, and there's nothing really to stake for this match, but there's nothing but pride and honor, which we all love to have. I am your host, Carmen Junkin, and joining me today is Colby Alloway. And how we feeling about this fight, right?
So, fun fact, Boise State, BSU, and UNLV are the only two teams that have won the Mountain West Championships. So this is very much like a grudge match, the two Mountain West kind of juggernauts going against each other here tonight. And this is also kind of practice for the LAN that's going on this weekend for CECC. And that CECC LAN that's happening this weekend and the Mountain West Championship, if you win that, or if you win the LAN, you'll get to qualify for CECC Nationals. So this is pretty big for Boise State, and we're looking to kind of like turn, if we win tonight, we're looking to turn tonight into kind of a trend, so that we can come in this weekend swinging and qualify for CECC Nationals.
Get in the heads of our opponents before the LAN even starts, and sort of psych them out a little bit. Of like, you already got 1-0'd, you walk in the door and you're gonna go 2-0. Typical banter for esports gamers, right?
Looks like first map is going to be Nepal Village. We're kind of getting a little bit of a fly around here. We're waiting to see some of the heroes kind of come out of the plains and on that path there. On control point, usually Brig is pretty good on control point, and especially on Village, you kind of can have a lot of maneuverability on the ball, or you can stick your Orisa high ground. It looks like we're still waiting to kind of get a view of the heroes and see what's happening.
Okay, I'll see you, Winston. I only see a Tracer in the red. We don't know who's in the red. Okay, UNLV's in the red. Boyd's in the blue. Now we're playing the Winston.
Already down there, Doomfist.
Wow, they lost that really fast and really early. Oh my god. The Plato on the sword drone is pretty typical. Big on the Lucio as well.
It looks like the fight's going to begin as Doomfist goes in. We're seeing the Lucio try to get in, but Monkey's already dove. Bagel is going to help him get that boop. It looks like Kiriko does not. No, they do have their teleport. They're able to get back up, but Chosen's going to go ahead and get the elimination onto Current Master. And we see the Doom Punch come out, but unfortunately not be able to kill anybody for UNLV here. And instead, Doomfist is going to go down himself to Plato on that Sojourn. And then with that, I think that's a reset for UNLV. Lucio can't even get out.
Pretty decent stagger, too. Going to delay it by a couple seconds. Already up by 35. He won the first two fights as well. A little bit of switch.
That monkey's taking a lot of spam from this Sojourn.
Yes.
Can't stand there very long.
Maybe the strat to sort of farm your healer's ulti. They're kind of pushing a little bit farther up here. Trying to get the timing. Matt Burke's missed. Wow!
I sense a Death Blossom coming here pretty soon. Looks like Matt Merck on the monkey is going to have to go low, drop out, has no abilities as they drop the bubble for Boise State to kind of retreat. That was a little bit of a scrappy fight there. Looks like Plato's going to get away.
And they barely get out of there. 30 HP to speak with. Sitting at 70 and 5 ultimates. Here comes out Kitsune Rush.
Okay, so as we get in the fight, the Kitsune Rush is going to be able to assist in eliminations onto 3 members of the enemy team. That is 2 members remaining. Monkey can't even jump out, and this is Boise State 82 to 0%. UNLV Plato's just going to play the touch their spawn door challenge, I think, as he ults immediately with inside of that plane.
Oh, the massive pick.
Are they going to be able to get the second? It looks like they're going to be able to get the second. And this next fight is just taking place right out directly outside the enemy spawn door. Boise State knows they can be aggressive. With 99 and climbing, there's no way UNLV is going to be able to touch this point.
Clearing that last word, Death Blossom, onto the Winston as well. Taking that first point really fast. That almost, I think maybe 4 team fights. I honestly wouldn't count the last fight as really a team fight, honestly. So it felt sort of scrappy like the first 2. It just, it felt like Boise State really dominated this first point.
Boise State wants to get all hands on the spawn door, I think, is what's been going on. We've seen them push into enemy territory through that upper left-hand door and go all the way up to plane, even ulting less than 50 meters from their spawn. Boise State is really bringing it, and I expect that to kind of roll over into next map.
Yeah, especially getting right into it. Will UNLV be able to
right out.
heal the wounds that was that first point being taken away from so fast?
Ooh, Reinhardt. That's an interesting pick. It looks like Monkey's looking for a way in. Boise State's looking for their in to start this fight. Actually, the Reinhardt's going to start it for them by just going in, but he gets booped out of position so that Clear and Plato will get eliminations onto Haydog, Kernmaster, and Clear's going to get an elimination onto Hertz. Matt Merck is the price, but but removing UNLV from the point and sending them running back to spawn with their tails between their legs, I would say that's a worthy price to pay.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's the worthwhile trade there. Especially when you have a Winston that's going to be able to get back from spawn fairly quickly as well. And you did see that they do make the switch from the
Ball. Looks like Ball's in, and I think that kind of gets us into this next fight. Ball's going to in and then roll out. So actually this fight, it's Boise State kind of goes in once, goes in a second time, and now that the Reinhardt is in here, the fight has truly begun in earnest. Plato and Matt Merck are going to trade, leaving the balance even right now. We're looking for Bagel to try to get this elimination on this Baptiste, or at least just terrorize him and stop him from healing his team. That is also a noble use of that Lucio flank there. It looks like Reinhardt's going to go down to Clear. Sorry, Reinhardt, that's not a 1v1 you're going to win, especially that up close. And it looks like Hertz is just trying to do Reaper things on point, but can't hit as many of his shots. Kernmaster, however, is going to pick up Clear. But again, Clear's a small price to pay for Boise State holding the point.
Yeah, I believe that was Plato getting a 3-piece as well, along with the ultimate. And even though losing Matt Merck relatively soon in that team fight as well, they're able to just completely hold out.
Chosen's so far up.
And they're not punishing this at all because they know Chosen can get away whenever they want. So they're just gonna stick the horn of the high ground and trying to get something, but Death Blossom gets 3, and the Immortality as well, looking for the 4th, and he's gonna get it.
Press Q to begin the fight. Follow everything else up with your shotgun pistols. That's Clear's recipe for success. Tried, trusted, and true.
Shotgun pistols or shorties
Shotgun
with
pistols?
extended mag?
Get out of here with your Valor terminology.
Oh, I'm saying it's effective. It's not valid. Still trying the same above the ground strategy.
Touching. As the fight begins, we see Hammer down. We do see a well-placed beat by Bagel save the entire team. Be sure to thank your Lucio there, Boise State. We see that Tracer on the point, gonna be forced to use recall or be sent to spawn. And at this point, nobody can afford to go back to spawn as Kernmaster's there and waiting to respawn. We do see Tracer finally go down as the remaining members of UNLV just desperately try to touch the point, and it doesn't look like Doomfist is gonna be able to get there. So round 1 is going very clearly to Boise State.
Very clearly. I don't think they're in that. Yeah, they're in the entire first map of Control. UNLV did not get a single, really touch. They were on point at times, but yeah, this was to be expected. Clear getting a 4-piece on the second point.
This is what we were talking about. Press Q, win the fight, follow it up with a couple of shotgun pistol shots, and then tried, tested, and true play of the game. Clear certified.
Clear certified play. The Idaho National Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State Esports. Top players are presented by the Idaho National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills in real time with more than 10 jobs, offering a 20K bonus and a degree of your choice paid for by the Idaho National Guard. They're the best team for you out there. Reach out to them at Twitch iGuard Gaming. And we didn't get to touch on it before we went into the match, but obviously our Overwatch players always take Doc's keys in the game into consideration, which in Overwatch is to never take a fair fight, which means take fights in unexpected places when they're unprepared and tempo them, which can be done in a manner of different ways with, a funky little tank that's in there or, a support as well. They can do it in. Of course, Doc Sees the Gamer brought to you by Drop In Gaming. But going into this first point, what surprised you? What shocked you a little bit? Or did anything shock you or surprise you at all, considering that first point went away so fast? I think we spent maybe a grand total of 5 minutes there.
I think, this is going to sound terrible, but I think the amount of success that Boise State had just immediately off the bat kind of surprised me. I was expecting UNLV to maybe be a little bit more prepared and not just responding to Boise State setting the pace, but Boise State was doing an amazing thing with tempo, and that is they kind of soft go in, kind of test the waters, see what they can get away with, and then they all hard commit. And Boise State was doing that, and what that gives you is some extra information before you go into the fight. That gives you, okay, where is everybody set up? Who can we dive? Who can we eliminate? And so Boise State was usually up two or three at most before the fight really even begun and before UNLV's tank could engage on anybody.
That was really apparent on first point as well. Typically, I really do agree with you there because it always felt like there was a pick before the main fight as well.
So I want to talk about the legs, the wings, and the thighs that this defensive team has got set up right now. We got the thighs on Sojourn, the legs on Sojourn, excuse me. We've got the Pharah, Mercy, Sojourn comp. This Mercy's going to be bouncing back and forth between both TPS, and we're looking for picks before Matt Merck engages.
This Doomfist is going to have a hard time. Actually, the entirety of their team is going to have a difficult time with no protection from this pharmacy. Max going to have to pull back a little bit, though. A little bit low. Haydog is going to get clear, though, and there goes down Lyric as well.
Easy res, though, immediately behind that post box. Looks like with that, balls, we see a little bit of the Mercy triage healing. I don't think this is the beginning of a fight. I think Doomfist is trying to test the waters. Ooh, Hertz is going to get Lyric again, and at this point, UNLV is hard engaging. That res is still on cooldown, and with this fight, we see Clear just trying to run around and see what value they can get. Matt Merck says, Widow, stop headshotting my Ana, and is immediately going to take Hertz down, but Bagel can't do much by themselves on point. Matt Merck and Clear both rotating back. Clear is on the unfortunate end of the Doomfist. And Matt Merck is going to see what they can do to stall, maybe last-minute touch here.
Ooh, almost gets that pick. I feel like that fight was really determined out when Goblin ended up getting sleep guarded and then just comboed out by the Ana and Brig. And there went a pretty vital piece of your DPS. And from there, that's sort of what we were talking about before, UNLV having the number advantage as well.
That's true, but also getting the elimination onto the Ana twice in a row for that Widow, and then not having the Mercy res to make up for the positional mistakes the second time. There were a couple things that went into UNLV really winning that fight. They briefly forgot about the cart, enough for Boise State to get on and put the mines on. That's the beginning of the fight here. We see Matt Merck putting in some damage, but also taking a lot as he's looking to get in the backline on that Ashe. Going to roll back to his team to get some healing, it looks like. And Boise State's just kind of playing a very aggressive game of keep away right now as we're firing shots and spamming and seeing what eliminations we can get while also staying out of range.
Oh, I think they're trying to get some early damage in. Barrage is available, as well as Bagel and Lyric's ultimate as well going into it. I do have Brig, though. Could be dangerous. That amount of armor. Clear is going to be able to get a pick, though, as the Doomfist is going to dive in. Ooh, and there's Barrage committed. Not going to get anything,
Ooh,
but
sleep
good
again.
chip. Oh!
Bye, Goblin. Smushed under the Fist of Progress, and it looks like the Dragon Blade's going to come out, and Bagel is somehow going to live through that res, just enough to get it. Nanoblade's going to eventually take them out, though, and then Goblin, unfortunately, just got res to get immediately staggered. That's a feels bad, as QWERTY is just kind of running around on point, doing #Doomfist things, and UNLV is going to get to push.
Haydog so far, from what we've seen, has been in some pretty nasty sleep darts. I don't know what their ratio is, but in my eyes, they're 3 for 3 right now. But it's on for a good amount of time. They still have 3 minutes. Oh, and Clear getting a nasty pick on the Doomfist. And Matt, wow, there's 2. This could be a massive advantage for them going into this fight.
It looks like Boise State is just rushing to begin the fight, already being up 2, and UNLV has actually already backed off, so I don't anticipate the next fight is going to be another couple seconds.
Yeah. And there's that conversation we also had of UNLV sort of following the tempo and the pace that Boise State set. Sort of just, letting Boise State dive into them and keep, getting picks and staggering them. There's the Genji getting 1. Ooh,
oh
Clear
my gosh.
good for 1. Almost got the second as well.
It's always sad as Ana when you get the sleep onto the noon, but also do I do it yourself. Bagel's going to go ahead and res Lyric. Amazing, going to keep Boise State in this fight. It looks like UNLV is going to go down with that Brig, and the final 2 members are just trying to do as much damage as they can before they get out. But unfortunately, Genji's not going to do enough to kill Goblin, and that's a hard reset for UNLV, I think. As the Doomfist is still looking for him.
Wow. Almost getting Goblin as well. Those shotgun pellets are any closer. That might have done some pretty serious damage, and Matt Merck is going to have to back up the point as well. Down to these 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. Mines are available here. No commit as well. Matt is going to get hit by the dynamite. So we're just surveilling. Only 1 ultimate available with Goblins coming up to the side of Boise State.
So it looks like we have Bob on point contesting. That gives UNLV a lot of space to work with. Matt Merck being forced to roll around the backside, contest this Doomfist, and save his support. It looks like Lyric is unfortunately going to go down because of the purple and the Doomfist in on them. And it looks like at this point, no res forthcoming, so Boise State's playing a little bit passively, waiting for them to come. And then immediately with that barrage, we're looking to get some value. Goblin's going to go down. Boise State is still down 1 in this fight. As we're looking for the elimination onto Hertz. It looks like, oh my gosh, Matt Merck is so close to finding it, but also so close to going down themselves. And it looks like Boise State's going to lose that point, and UNLV is going to take it.
Just as much as sort of this game, she's been having a hard time with this pharmacy. It's also been able to make up for it, getting some pretty serious picks. And every time they brought out Blade, they've been able to turn the fight in their team's favor. But I think from this point on, it's only going to get extremely difficult for UNLV, as Boise State's been able to give them a lot of trouble without the spawn advantage. And, you know, this area's really going to be hard for them to traverse.
Looks like with clear down, I mean, they're getting pretty lucky here. Matt Merck up with the J-Queen, kind of going in on that Brig and on that Doomfist immediately. And with Kitsune Rush, they give Boise State the ability to fully engage in this fight. It looks like that Doomfist is just playing keep away, staying out of range up on that high ground, and then Bagel sensibly positioned in the back, just on sights on his tank. Matt Merck is going to get the opening elimination onto Genji, and now Boise State can really kind of pick UNLV apart.
One. Oh, Doomfist is going to be able to get one, but get traded out, which is a bigger trade than what is worth for his side. They have the spawn advantage, so Bagel's going to be able to re-engage in the fight very quickly. And with the Ana and this Kiriko as well, they're sort of the double edge, the sort of counters are playing to each other.
Looks like Matt Merck is going to send the knife in, but not have anybody else with them drawn in. And it looks like Boise State is now that elimination. Boise State is looking for a way in. Matt Merck playing a little bit passively behind the cart as Doomfist is going to run away back around the corner, and Matt Merck is going to hold the opposite side. We're just kind of waiting for the opportunity to go in, I think. And I think it's going to come with a well-placed jump.
This is going to be a really here it is. Just a bunch of bleed damage they're going to get now. And this Junker Queen is going to be near unstoppable to support a clear, getting a two-piece. And the Brig is going to have to retreat with Goblin and Clear cleaning it all up. But this Doomfist just being a little rat sitting in this corner where nobody can quite get to him. Sort of just stalling out. Buddy, you're stuck there. You're going to have to make a move. He's going to dive.
But the KD, Colin, you got to protect it.
You got to save it, I guess. You know, it's valid.
Matt Merck looking to set up around this corner. We see the Doomfist go past again, and with no Junker Queen ultimate forthcoming, we see the Kitsune Rush. This lets Boise State in. They're trying to crack the UNLV defense right now. No eliminations yet. Boise State really kind of needs to hit some shots, engage on some targets. Hey, doggo, there it is. That's Boise State. Gonna be able to press W into your team, and immediately after that, we see QWERTY go down. Goblin's gonna go down, but the rest of Boise State is gonna clean up to honor their fallen comrade.
Yeah. With 20 seconds left, they might have a scrappy secondary fight that they'll be able to get, but it's going to be extremely out of pace with everyone else in their team here. They do have Blade here available, no other supporting ults, and we do have Deadeye available, but also nothing else. So it's really the
Blade of a lifetime.
Oh, does get the pick, and going to get two. This could be a chance. They're going to have to push in overtime, getting a third.
Looks like that Blade's going to get two. This is Boise State, only one in fight. Matt Merck is going to understandably fall back to spawn, see if they can get the Lucio. That has less health than the Doomfist there. It looks like Ana's has respawned.
Oh.
Ooh, Clear sticks some stealth.
Oh.
That's a feels right bad. Boise State popping out with the Bastion just to get some immediate damage right outside of spawn. Boise State is looking for a way in to try to contest. Misses the sleep. It looks like somebody's got to touch, and Bagel says, all right, I'll run my grandma legs on over there, and immediately falls to Hertz. And we got the ball doing ye old spinny winny around the point there. Looks like they're purple, but fortunately enough for Boise State, they can't hit the ball as he's just running around Mach 5 around that point, and will finally be taken down to a well-placed Doom Punch. Boise State got it to overtime.
They did get it in overtime, considering how, how progressive UNLV was being with a lot of their movements. They were making solid progress throughout it. They were making their own tempo. They were getting a lot of picks, and this Doomfist surprisingly sort of was doing their job and getting a lot of things done, and found a lot of value along with the Genji as well. I wasn't expecting the Genji to get as much value as they nearly did, but it happened, and they take it overtime. But obviously the other caveat is if Boise State gets any measure of time, it could be 30 seconds more. That's an inherent advantage that they'll get going into third OT, I guess is what it'd be, or hybrid.
And I want to talk about last fight a little bit more because Boise State was definitely not ready for the Blade, I feel like.
Yeah.
Clear was caught out of position, immediately eliminated, and then after that, the Blade got 2, and then 3, 4, and 5 were immediately capitalized on. After that, that Blade and that elimination onto Clear, playing a little bit too aggressively, was everything that UNLV needed to take that 3rd point.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if the worst mistake Boise State makes this whole broadcast is have their Cassidy a little bit too far forward, I think it's going to be a W.
Yeah, I think, it's definitely not anything out of the usual, out of the ordinary. And consider they're putting up a lot more of a fight than what it was first map as well on control. But it also was the Doomfist getting the first pick as well. And then the Blade was just able to dive into the back line, and the cleanup was by the Doomfist as well. And then we also saw Goblin get the reverse stick as well, which was unfortunate. And then from there, it just didn't go downhill. But that's the pass. Boise State is looking to recapitalize and take this quickly so they can have an advantage going into it. They're going to have to get no less than 3 here. They're going to have to go all the way to the end. It's now a question of if they're going to follow in the same footsteps of OT or not. As we see the first pick go to the Genji.
Boise State is already in, looking to start this engagement, and they're down 1, down 2. Boise State does not have the damage to try to get these eliminations right now with both DPS down. So at this point, it's just kind of a soft reset, and with that Kiriko asleep right now, I don't know if Boise State's going to be able to get out of this as Matt Murr goes down as well.
It's going to be a race or bagel to get out of there. It's going to stick with it. Wow.
Support spiel. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Just as I called it out. Cass cursed it.
Bagel still? Nope. Ooh.
Oh, good
Barely
combo.
gonna go down.
Yeah.
Boise State is waiting.
Yep. Gonna need the reset.
Love that rainbow weapon charm very much, as Goblin's just looking to kind of do some poke damage right now before we wait for both of our supports to engage.
And they have to be careful with the Plato because they definitely know Plato is extremely deadly on this Sojourn. Just, any amount of charge they get, clicking your head is very easy for Plato here. And this Doomfist being caught out, able to get a lot of damage to the block. Are they going to be able to get away? The Winston's going to be able to chase just a little bit. They're going to get healed, though, and be able to get away. And this Clear on Reaper is going to be looking to deal any backup damage they could possibly get. This Doomfist's survivability rating is at a 99 right now.
All right, so we're in the fight right now. Boise State has already gotten a tick in about a half before any members. Ooh, Bagel's just going to try to contain that Doomfist to the corner. A noble effort, but unfortunately fruitless, as Cordy's just going to melee Bagel. And it looks like Boise State, for a tick and a half of the point, pretty reasonable. But UNLV ended up cleaning them up in the end.
And if we're talking time-wise, UNLV capped the point around this same time as well, a little bit sooner than what Boise State is having.
Looks like Boise State's trying to start the fight right now. We have Clear peeking that corner. Clear has committed the Wraith. Matt Burke is just going to see how much of the point are you going to give me before you touch. And then immediately after, Lyric, in answer to members touching the point, is going to Kitsune Rush, send Matt Burke up into the high ground. That Anna being a menace for UNLV right now. Cordy and Hertz already down as Matt Burke is going to dive to see if he can get the remaining 2 supports. Gonna decide it's not worth it.
No, yeah. Definitely not worried if you almost get beat, especially that break there. That break will mess you up if you take them too lightly here.
Winton says, break's scary.
Yeah. We do have 4 ultimates going into this as well, as long as support ult as well. However, they do have 1 online as well in Blade. And Blade has been troublesome for Boise State so far. They're just pushing your tunnel. UNLV has yet to really contest.
In and out.
Some poke.
We do the in and out. It looks like Boise State is looking for the beginning of the fight right now. We have Clear kind of sitting in the corner. I don't think he's been spotted yet. The fight could really begin at any second here. That Brig is going to mark the beginning of the fight, and then the Blade immediately after that. UNLV has set the pace for this fight. The answering beat means Boise State gets to live another day. Goblin with that Sojourn overclock online is not going to commit it just yet, as Matt Merck is juggling people in the air left and right. Going to take out that Anna. That is Boise State at the advantage. Both supports down. Now Boise State can really rush into the enemy team.
A lot of damage with the Sojourn overclock, but this Doomfist is still alive for not for much longer, and the Genji is going to be chased down. Not able to do too much against the near full health Matt Murrick, and that's going to be Boise State with about 2 minutes and 40 seconds halfway now to the second point. UNLV should be able to contest just before they get to the second point as well here. They should have, they're going to have 2 ultimates going into this fight, and Boise State is probably going to have Kitsune Rush going into this as well, but nothing else. And the Goblin on Torb too.
Looks like as Doomfist is going to go in and go out, and then immediately after that, going to Meteor Strike. Bagel is down. Kitsune Rush has been committed, so Boise State's push hasn't stopped just yet. Even though they are down 1, we see lots of Torb spam coming in from the side, and immediately after that, Doomfist is going to put a stop to that. That is Boise State down 2, looking for a way out.
Doomfist able to find so much value.
5 HP and a dream.
And a dream for sure.
Funny teleport button.
Funny teleport doing. It do be making players mad.
There are no secrets.
Kiriko's weak, just melee her! Goodbye.
Not anymore. Maybe we'll get on here. Not too worried out on time, but definitely going to want to win the fight. Winning this fight would be absolutely advantageous for Boise State as they're diving in on a point.
And it looks like the fight has begun. Goblin is putting Boise State down 1. We see the Nano come out onto Doomfist, and Doomfist is on your Kiriko as they're going to teleport Suzu. No abilities on Lyric, but that Doomfist is so weak. Clear's going to be able to pick that up, and now Boise State can afford to go in. DPS for main tank. That trade is in Boise State's favor, especially as they get the Genji immediately after that. Boise State's going to rotate the card.
Especially Sombra pick as well. Sombra or Goblin going from the Sojourn to the Torb, and now the Sombra looking to shut down probably the Doomfist or the break that's going to push too far up into it, and the trade there. The tanks as Matt Merck is low.
Oh, get that, Genji. I believe doing some clever bubble dancing there. And then immediately after that, Matt Merck says goodbye. I'm coming through the window. Ooh, the Ana shot. Good job, hey doggo. You know that Genji was screaming in their mic.
Yeah.
Monkey's weak. Get him. And Ana's like, oh, all right.
I guess. If you want something done, you have to do it yourself. You sneaky Goblin.
Ana. Kitsune Rush is going to come out. Goblin looking to get that hack on the break, instead just takes their attention and ends up getting eliminated. But Kitsune Rush still is sending Boise State into the enemy team. Clear 14 HP, going to have to get that health pack immediately. Really struggling against this brig, can't really get in, it's just being chased around. And it looks like Boise State is kind of running out of members to touch the point as Matt Merck is going to rotate through to get health pack. And that is Boise State losing round 2 to UNLV. 1-1.
1-1. What was such a sort of dominant showing that Boise State put on, in the first round. It was kind of crazy to see such a reverse of roles there on this hybrid map. And of course, Clear's going to get the play. Yeah, we saw this one. Flank play as well. Nano Cassidy do a lot of damage. That's all I'm going to say.
Go Burr.
It do be hurting over there. And Dropping Gaming is the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition, play your favorite games, to win cash or prize through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Dropping Gaming is the right games and competition for you to begin a competitive journey. Sign in at droppinggaming.com.
So I want to highlight particularly as something that went really well for UNLV is the brig. And we especially saw it in that last play there where Tracer was just kind of running around and couldn't really get on anybody because the brig was just constantly there playing like keep away, puppy guarding, whatever you want to call it. Brig is just there watching for any of the flank heroes. And the other thing that I want to highlight went really well for UNLV is their Doomfist. Their Doomfist very regularly was doing the exact same thing that we complimented Boise State for first round, kind of testing the waters before the rest of UNLV went in, kind of seeing where Boise State was at, seeing if they could engage. And you would see him do it with like his punch go in and then immediately after that back out after he had gathered the info, and then he couldn't be punished for it because it happened so fast and he has so much HP. He could just kind of say, peekaboo, where are you all at? Okay, and then go back to his team.
I felt like a lot of times, the Doomfist would be able to do that, but also find value in doing it as well. The dive would happen, and then find some sort of pick. The one that sort of sticks in my mind is Goblin being on the Torb, of just trying to get this long range pick damage, trying to get a lucky headshot, trying to finish it off. So, and then they just get dove, and then from there, how are you gonna fight a 500 HP tank when you don't have mobility as a Torbjorn? I don't know how
Torb
you do
says,
it.
I'm just a chicken nugget. I'm not ready.
I don't have my turret. I don't have the overclock. But would you almost say the Sombra was a counter pick to that? To try and punish the dive.
I think the Sombra was definitely a counterpick to Doom. Another tank that it effectively counterpicks as well is Ball. But I definitely want to say that I don't think we had the Sombra long enough to see the Sombra get a bunch of value.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say like Sombra didn't get value. I just want to say we didn't really see enough of it. And we're going on to Circuit Royale next map. So maybe with UNLV's kind of predisposition to play Doomfist in mind, a starter Sombra pick, I think, could be beneficial for Boise State.
Do you think the Doom?
Route 66, I am a liar.
Route
Pardon me.
69. I'll forgive you this one time. Just one time. Don't let it happen
car
again.
maps.
Don't let it happen.
Close
again.
enough.
Close enough, I guess. Yeah. You know, one's a bomb though. I guess it was a bomb. Was thought to be a blonde. But anyway, going on to it. Yeah, I do agree that we didn't see the Sombra enough. And then I also want to. You pointed out earlier with the Brig. Having a lot of value on the Tracer as well, had a lot of value on the Sombra as well. We saw the Sombra go for the pick, but couldn't get in. Just got immediately turned around, got booped away, so they're out of range. Cancels the hack, and from there it's sort of just free. And what was supposed to be an annoying little, hey, I'm in the back line, stop killing your teammates, and I'm here, ends up being a pick for the side of UNLV.
And a potential way to play Sombra to kind of get around the Brig, but also be able to counter the Doomfist, is actually like wait with your team for the Doomfist to dive and then hack him as soon as he comes in.
Yeah.
Because then you don't need to deal with the Brig, because for the most part that Doom was diving solo.
Yeah.
And the Brig was just waiting around defensively. And then you don't really need to mess with the Brig. You can just kind of send Doom into your team and then say, everybody get it.
Yeah. Or to dive with the Genji, but the Genji was sort of negated most of the time by Matt Merck on the Winston. It really, honestly, was the Doomfist did a really good job of opening a lot of fights and finding a lot of openings, and more or less splitting Boise State effectively as well, of forcing sort of a Boise State to sort of take a lot of team fights, and he ended up finding the supports a lot of the time as well.
Poor Lyric.
Yeah, exactly.
Lyric had a Doom on them that whole game.
The whole game, yeah. It's stressful situations against stressful characters, that's all I'm going to say.
It looks like we have a Sojourn kind of set up for some immediate spam. Actually, it looks like Boise State is just close holding, trying to get as much time as they can. That Doomfist is weak, but instead he's going to get healed up and take... Boise State is in the red.
Yeah, and I was about to say...
Actually, that was not Bagel that went down. Pardon me. It looks like Bagel is now alive and well while riding up with his Doomfist.
I was going to point that out, that it was it's a swap almost. It's a role swap almost on team composition as well. This is more than likely a team comp that we saw from UNLV the past 2 games.
And it looks like Plato's still on that Sojourn. 82 charge. They're going to, get that headshot and send that Kiriko so weak. They're going to have to back around Billboard. And immediately after that, the Monkey is in. Who's going to win the Battle of the Sojourns? It looks like Plato's fighting. I'm going to have to reload. Bagel comes up to assist. And so Plato gets to live another day. We see Clear on the Junkrat just pumping damage into that Monkey bubble. This is a really long-winded fight. There hasn't really been a break because we're going into Beat is going to let Boise State just walk right into that enemy tank, immediately take down Hertz. We're going to send the mines onto high ground, not be able to get anything as Clear is just kind of anchoring Cart right now. And it looks like Matt Merck is going to try for the Battle of the Tanks, just stopping them from getting out in that back left corridor. And I think that's the end of the fight, as UNLV has kind of gotten out. Matt Merck is going to get picked. Overstay is welcome a little bit. And actually, right as I say it's the end of fight, UNLV has their way in. As Matt Merck goes down and Clear goes down, we do hear the overclock and the responding beat. And it looks like Bagel's just getting bounced all the way back to spawn by that Monkey. And actually, Boise State is going to lose that space and go all the way back to spawn for a reset.
Yeah, it was such a hard-fought fight right there. Ends up being almost completely negated. Not completely. They still make the advantage as well. There's Kitsune Rush being committed. Clear's going to get one with the tire. And here's Matt Merck trying to get the pick on the Sojourn.
Get her
really low, but is also low themselves. But is backed up by the team. He's trying to get one more pick to boot. And does end up getting with the assist to Plato. And that's Boise State. What was a rough patch in the beginning. They end up taking the third team fight, then it happens. And they're going to get second point.
And I don't know if UNLV has an opportunity to kind of recontest here. It looks like if their it looks like they're setting up for next fight. No, actually, they're here for the touch. QWERTY is immediately going to go down, and then immediately after that, we see Kiriko wall climbing, trying to do what they can. Sojourn on that top right high ground. Reaper's going to drop the point and get a double elimination on Clear and Bagel, as well as the overclock elimination onto Chosen. And actually, UNLV is going to sweep the floor with Boise State here, with only Plato remaining. And they're going to, unfortunately, lose the Battle of the Sojourns. Though, I do have to say that wasn't a fair battle. Plato was probably on about 20 HP by the time the enemy Sojourn dropped the point.
Yeah, 100% wasn't too fair, but a really smart play by UNLV as well. What was, I imagine, not exactly in their heads or in their comms, but at least on Dust, we both sort of predicted they weren't going to contest, and then they contest last minute and take complete control of the fight. We see Mattmerk dive a little bit. That big pack is not there for the taking, and to back off. The Kitsune Rush is committed as well. This might give Boise State an advantage in the fight. No clear picks quite yet, so just contesting point.
So it looks like Hey Doggo is going to go down as well as Hertz. This is Boise State winning the fight, up 3, now only up 2 as Plato's going to go down to the enemy Sojourn, and then immediately after that, QWERTY's going to get taken, and Boise State now has
They got it now. There's no recontest that UNLV can possibly have, but now they have a lot of space to sort of work with. And we do see a clear and a Plato pushing up a little bit farther, probably looking for a little bit of chip damage. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a clear and a Chosen. Waiting for an unlucky UNLV player to fall into their grass.
Ooh, Chosen instead looks like they're a little bit of the unlucky one, getting taken down to half HP and then healing back up on that support. It looks like Bagel's doing the Lord's work, doing the MVP thing, sitting on cart as we see QWERTY just touch the skybox and then come down.
Just normal things.
It looks like Boise State is waiting to start the... Actually, it looks like UNLV has kind of started this fight. And then immediately after that, beat for beat, both of these teams match it, have a lot of extra armor to work with here. We see the duel of the Reapers kind of happening over there in that little corridor, and now on cart, Clear's going to take a Sojourn shot to the head, and unfortunately that's going to send him back to get a health pack, but Bagel's going to finish up the duel. And it looks like as the overclock comes up, Clear with the DPS ultimate, Boise State, it looks like they're going to win this. I think the Beyblade on the point was especially...
Oh, no.
I think the Beyblade on the point was especially effective. And now UNLV is going to have a scattered touch. They're not going to be able to get a full team on.
Yeah,
if Boise State can get 3 on card.
I almost just say they're going to have to get it right now in the next couple of seconds. There it is. There is the touch. Wraithform was committed to do it, though, so they're out. Yep, and there's Clear getting the pick. Yep, a really scattered pick. And here's Boise State just going to be able to pick apart UNLV as there's no even trades to go off at all. This Doomfist trying to get the pick on Bagel isn't going to be able to get it, and that's a near team wipe. It would be a team wipe if Hertz and Hey Dog didn't respawn fast enough.
And it looks like kind of as we go in, Bagel once again pushing the cart. Boise State setting up. We see Mattmerk swapping over to the Monkey. That bubble will give Boise State a little bit extra protection here. And it looks like UNLV is going to be looking to kind of int on Boise State with a well-placed Kiriko ultimate.
Boise State does have one to respond to as well if they so choose, or decide to preemptively use it as well.
I think that's the beginning of the fight.
Massive pick.
An elimination for Boise State is big, and then we see the Monkey Bubble and the jump be committed. Mattmerk is in on the enemy team and immediately has to jump back after doing a little bit of damage. We see Kernmaster as well go down on that Lucio. Boise State is really engaging through truck on here. Kind of contesting UNLV's left-hand spawn doors, just kind of containing them in that choke while Bagel pushes hard. Ooh, gonna have to use Kitsune just to get out of spawn. Hey Doggo's gonna do that. Clear is just waiting to drop probably the Reaper ultimate of a lifetime there, though they're only 84. Plato is gonna commit the overclock as well as the Kitsune Rush. That is a dangerous Sojourn right now. As Hertz is gonna Beyblade, immediately get Clear, Chosen, and Plato, and Mattmerk is also gonna go down. That is ruining Boise State's last push there. 1 minute and 14 seconds remaining. Boise State full restart.
Nearly 2.08 meters away from victory. Closing out the push here. They just need one last fight to get into it. They do have Deadeye on the side of UNLV. Clear has Beyblade, but it almost dies before they can use it. Mattmerk does have Rage along with Beat going to this fight.
So as Beat comes out, the fight begins. It looks like Clear is just waiting for the opportunity to use a well-placed Beyblade on the point. It looks like Deadeye's going to take down Mattmerk. That is Boise State currently down 1, but it's nothing that a Reaper ultimate couldn't turn around, as Clear's going to go down before they can even use it. And Bagel says, all right, I'm out. We go next fight.
Yeah, with such low time as well, you don't want to. You don't need to overcommit here. You just want to get this last touch, this last final fight, because you might as well regroup. Don't get super staggered out. They probably would have had time if they full team wiped anyway to get a last second touch here. It's
all right.
up to Clear to get a last second pick.
Looks like we're beginning next touch. Clear's going to get on the point, immediately get the Beyblade onto 2. That is Boise State now up 3 as Hertz is going to go down as well. Boise State, they say, we're coming for 3rd point, and there's nothing you can do to stop us.
Yeah, there's that cleanup. There's that press Q and win button that I was...
Funny button.
Yeah, that funny button I was anticipating so hard to really clutch up, and that's exactly what happened there.
Exceptional patience on Boise State here, not using it in the fight where they already went down Matt Merck. Boise State said, all right, they're really committing high noon to this. They're committing, we committed beat. But after that, Matt Merck was taken down, and Clear says, you know what? We have enough time for another fight.
Yeah, ultimate for ultimate, UNLV won that fight. That fight alone, UNLV won that fight because we committed overclock and Kitsune Rush, and they managed to beat that out, obviously with their own countering ults as well, with beat and Beyblade. That's possible. More like it, but at the end of the day, that doesn't really matter. But because they lost, but it was OT as well,
which actually puts UNLV in a very favorable position.
Yeah. As
they transition over to attack.
But that's the same thing that we said about Boise State going into hybrid as well.
A favorable position does not mean 100% guaranteed chance at victory.
This is 100%. And you can quote Colby Alloway on that. We're gonna put that on plaque. Get into it. We saw some outlines. I didn't quite see anything clear enough, or the glance was only there for a second that I couldn't see anything. Nice ride.
Looks like we're going through the Deadlock Rebels pool table, and soon we will transition to first point, where these two teams will be kind of going at each other. We see Clear playing pretty aggressively in train car there, and it looks like Doomfist is looking for a way in. Fight hasn't begun yet.
Gorgeous. Didn't do chip damage, didn't get anything. A little bit of dive from the Doomfist. The Genji as well. The same deadly combo we saw last time as well. Hertz is going to be looking for the pick to get them in the fight.
I think that's the beginning of the fight there. Doomfist commits his abilities, goes in, and immediately after that, Genji goes in, uses deflect, kind of has to back off a little bit. Matt Merck is in on the right-hand spawn door, is going to rotate through back of train car. Neither of these teams have hard committed yet.
Yeah.
Doomfist goes diving in. It looks like trying to get Bagel, but Bagel is going to get healed up. Clear getting taken out to 5 HP. Someone's put some sticky notes on that man. Chosen is going to Suzu Genji off the map, but immediately after that, Matt Merck is going to go down, and now Boise State says, we're going to die on the card if we got to go out.
That charge was meant for Clear there as well, but ended up getting Bagel as Bagel was rushing in and getting hit by the fist anyway. Ooh, what was a punish trying to be committed onto Doomfist. He's going to be able to get away with a bar of health, but he's going to have to pay for it at the end of it all. But his Genji's going to be able to trade out Play-Doh for it all.
Looks like Boise State has backed up all the way to gas station. Matt Merck is going to hard commit, get immediately purpled, and Hey Doggo says, goodbye, monkey. And at that, Boise State is still fighting on the cart. We do see the Kitsune Rush come out for Boise State, as well as the beat in response to Nano Blade. Boise State is also going to commit the DP. This is just a battle of who can press Q better right now. And right now, it's UNLV. UNLV says, we got the better Qs, so we get to push around corner.
Yeah, let's take on the Reaper React. Put out the blade was committed before the Nano almost got there, and we didn't see a whole lot of value come out of the Nano blade, but there was just a whole lot of damage all around, and that's why it took UNLV to keep pushing here. There's going to be one more fight that Boise is going to be able to take. Doomfist getting a lot of chip damage here, and Clear getting the opening pick.
Play-Doh going to go ahead and cha-cha slide on into Hertz, get several clocked shots onto them, as well as the Ana, but unfortunately is going to get taken down by the Genji. But Matt Merck is over there cleaning up on gas station. Clear just kind of helping. Reaper's a ranged unit.
Yeah, I'm helping. I'm getting my one damage in per pellet, and I'm only hitting one pellet at a time. But it doesn't matter. They got the point anyway. They won the fight. So at the end of the day, and Clear once again getting another opening pick on this Genji that just can't find the footing right now.
And it does look like UNLV is kind of forced to hold that corner right now and not be able to push in just yet as they wait for the Genji to respawn.
UNLV is going to have four ultimates going into this fight. 2 at the beginning of it, 2 towards the edge of it, as Hey Dog is going to have Nano. Yep, there it is.
I think that's the beginning of the fight there. Brig Rally sending everybody running in faster than a cheetah there. And it looks like Cordy is already on gas station with Genji. They will be forced to back up. We see the Brig shielding the High Noon. High Noon's going to go ahead and get Plato as Genji gets Matt Merck. And Boise State down 1 as Clear's going to get the elimination onto Genji, but be so weak themselves. I couldn't even count the amount of bars he had there for a little bit. Bagel dying on point. Honorable death.
We're able to hold it. 30 seconds. That's nothing too horrible. Would you ideally love to stop them as the timer hits 0? Yes, but they still have 2 more points to go and a lot left to battle for in the end of the day. And Boise State has the ultimates to work with here. They can even out in the terms of UNLV. But last time Boise State had a Q battle with UNLV, it was a loss. So it's all about how it's going to turn out here. And if this Genji is going to find the value they get.
Right on the cart, and that's the beginning of the fight. Kernmaster is forced to run back. Matt Merck is going to get the elimination. That is Boise State now even as the blade comes out and eliminates Plato. Now Boise State up 1 as Clear is going to go ahead and eliminate Hertz. It looks like Boise State is looking for their next way in. Poor Matt Merck is just going to get slept in the corner, and the Ana gets to live a couple more seconds as Clear is going to go ahead and pick them up on cart with a shot to the knees. And then immediately after that, just Matt Merck's going to punch Genji in the face. Clear drops the ultimate just to kind of assert some dominance onto that Brig who has respawned. 69 HP, better go grab a health pack. And it looks like Boise State is letting them push, kind of backing out as Doomfist has respawned.
That advantage worked for them last time as well, having the sort of the smarter tone, the game sense to back out and know when, is a fight worth it anymore or is it not? So once again, with the Doomfist is going to get a really good level of damage. Pushing out. Oh, literally trying to get the sneaky little pick, and that's 2 opening picks to the side of the UNLV as this fight is still being fought for. Contesting, trying to drain down the time. There's Kernmaster getting 1 more. Namrock trying to do all they possibly can, but Hertz is going to get the final word, and they're going to win their team fight.
I'd be very interested to see that Briggs KD right now because
Yes.
it's got to be positive.
It's most definitely positive. There's no shot there isn't, and the assist count's got to be up there as well.
Boise State now has a touch. We're looking to probably use overclock on this touch, but Kern says, let me just get Brig ult in on that, anticipating the Boise State touch, and immediately after that, Boise State's going to come out. We see the Hertz commit the High Noon, but immediately after, Matt Merck is going to put a well-placed bubble on top of that Deadeye. Plato's going to go down first. No more overclock value for Boise State. Chosen's going to go down as well. No potential of Kitsune Rush. This fight, Clear's going to take the 1v1 with the Brig, and Doomfist is going to destroy the sanctity of that and go ahead and take Clear out.
Just honor the rule 1. Not the rule 1. Wow.
The 1v1.
The 1v1. Wow, Valorant and Rocket League terminology coming out for me today. But with 2 minutes left, that's a healthy amount of time that UNLV's got here, and they still have Nano Blade up their sleeve, which last time Boise State wasn't able to account for. They're going to take the high ground and attack from the flank. Are they going to be able to find anything with it as Nano Blade's going to be committed?
Just barely going to be healed through the beginning part of that Nano Blade, and then Clear is going to unfortunately go down to the Nano Blade, giving Genji a dash reset into the Monkey. No more eliminations are going to come out as Nano runs away. Matt Merck is going to commit the Monkey ult, kind of juggle Genji, but that's the wrong spawn. You can't send him in there. Looks like... I think we're getting out of this fight. I think that's the end of that fight.
Yeah. And especially as they start running away with the card as well, your position's really bad if you're constantly behind them and you're sort of chasing them. The roles reverse, right? Your defense here. You need to be in front of it. That is a good counter pick.
Fight begins. We've got an elimination onto both supports now here. Matt Merck just going in and going feral on the Monkey. We do see Boise State has taken Americar there over in that corner, and then we see Cordy just trying to dive and get some value, but unfortunately just is taking Reaper damage all the way. Doesn't get to his destination with more than 20 HP, which Matt Merck can easily clean up as Boise State is rotating back to Cart.
Good little stagger is going to buy them, a couple more seconds that they need to desperately drain out here. At the bare minimum, dropping down OT as well. At least that way you're on sort of an even footing if you go into it. Ideally, yes, win and have them hit 0 here, but UNLV's proven to be strong as this Doomfist is going to dive into the back line. Kern's going to commit the ult as well, and Deadeye's here, but Clear has the winning Q button. Are they going to be able to find it? Genji's going to get the opening pick on Plato, though.
Ooh! Genji takes a shotgun to the head, and immediately after that gets eliminated by Clear. This is both teams even. Oh, a massive sleep by Hey Dog is going to save their lives, and a label Kernmaster take Clear. Unfortunately, Hey Doggo doesn't live much longer than sleep as Matt Merck is going to pick up both supports. Cordy trying to do some damage as well onto that Lucio, but Bagel says, I'm out of here, and climbs the wall and leaves. He's a tree frog.
That spacebar is definitely damaged. The amount of movement that Bagel used in it. Beat's going to be committed, desperately trying to hold off Doomfist. Doomfist is extremely low as well. Desperately charging in last second. Gets nanoed. Giving them the time they need to recontest with the full team here. But Clear's going to get one pick, and there's Chosen getting a second.
And immediately after that, we see Clear just pumping damage into that Doomfist. And then immediately after that, just do ye old flick and pop the Tracer. She doesn't have HP to live more than that. Boise State now up 2 to UNLV's 1.
Yeah, that was definitely that was really well played. But was the beginning sort of the beginning was really hard fought. The end was really hard fought. The middle spot, little patchy, a little more UNLV sided as well. But Boise State able to drain the clock. You know, isn't that the point of defense as well? You know, yeah, it's beautiful to win the last win the fight and just win it all. But against a team that's competent, you need to drain the fight. There's Matt Merck getting the play of the game. Definitely worthy. Definitely a solid monkey play. And the Adonai Shooter Guard is a proud supporter of Boise State Esports. The top plays are, of course, presented by the Adonai Shooter Guard. And you'll see those with the critical thinking skills you can bring to the Adonai Shooter Guard. More than 10 jobs offering a 20K bonus and a degree of your choice paid for by the Adonai Shooter Guard. They're the best team out there for you. Reach out to them at Twitch at iGuard Gaming.
So I want to talk about how Boise State kind of split UNLV last fight, because we had the Doomfist on point contesting, and there were a couple of members of Boise State to deal with that. But then there were also a couple of members of Boise State stopping any recontests from ever getting to the point, so that Doom had absolutely no support, and UNLV couldn't push.
Yeah, I think that's what Winston does really well with the valid support, and with the Winston who knows what they're doing and knows how to bubble dance and play around supports and sort of target cooldowns as well. Because you get that nano, and the nano Doomfist is scary, but the beat comes out, and now these supports, Kiriko is able to go, hey, I'm going to dink you just 5 times in the head and drop your health bar anyway. Like, there's no point in testing it. And then you have Clear as well, who's just going to be able to absolutely steal any health bar you have as a tank. So, yeah, that last fight was
too big of a target to stand
too,
against the Reaper.
Yeah, it's almost any tank, honestly, is too big of a target to stand against the Reaper. So, yeah, I think you're 100% correct on that Boise State was able to tear apart UNLV at that last second fight, what felt sort of UNLV-sided till the very end, honestly.
Yeah, and then Boise State, I think what they really did well was split everybody up on third point, but they were all distant enough so that they could support each other.
Yeah.
Boise State, every single fight, UNLV came to third point with about 2 minutes remaining. And Boise State was able to rotate and make each one of their fights about 40 seconds. Usually a fight is like 20, 30. And cleaned up between these two teams, but Boise State was able to just bleed them out for time, and then UNLV at the end was just looking at the clock like, what happened?
Yep. And even going down on picks as well, because that's the crazy thing is that I don't exactly remember who they lost, but they definitely went down to negative picks as well. So, and then also sort of they did this 3 times honestly throughout the match of realizing we don't want to take this fight, let's pull back, especially on that third point as well, since we're on the topic of it. They're able to fight behind, realize, hey, we don't really have the ground advantage anymore. They're up on high ground, and they have the numbers advantage. One of our players just rotated back. Let's take a step back. Let's not rush into this and lose our advantage that we have as a defensive side of the team. So, yeah, I think Boise State on that third point did beautifully well in their strategical ability to pick apart UNLV and honestly just play for play, outplay them.
And the next map on Push, Coliseo, and I think Boise State has kind of has a strategy when it comes to the Brig now. I think they've found success in the Monkey versus the Brig, and I think they're going to keep rolling with that because they can kind of get around her shield and be able to eliminate that Brig as well as the Ana, because you have to take the Brig. In most cases, you have to take the Brig down before you can even touch the Ana. So we'll hopefully get to see Boise State do more of that on Coliseo.
Yeah, it's they've found a lot of success on this current play style and the strategy and this team comp that they have built up so far. I've yet to see a lot of deviations. They have deviated once, but I've yet to see a lot of deviations from that team comp that have found them a lot of success. Whereas I think same thing for Boise State as well, is they're finding a lot of success with this Winston, Reaper, and finding that ability, and also Lucy as well.
I also want to talk about the Genji, which seems to be pretty boom or bust for UNLV right now, right? There's either the Nanoblade that wipes the entire team and wins you a fight, or there's a Nanoblade that Boise State just kites most of and you get one elimination at best. I think the more Nanoblades UNLV kind of commits, the more prepared Boise State becomes for them. And I think the Genji running into the Winston, it's kind of a game of keep away, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes that can stop Genji from getting a lot of the value that he needs to get, in a similar way to Brig stopping flanker value on their supports.
And yeah, having the ability, you can't deflect the Winston's
You can't deflect the zappy
yeah, you
zappy.
can't. You can't deflect electricity. That's tough on you. Just get better, honestly. But yeah, and that Genji has tried to do other things. They've tried to go to McCree, and I think they did it offensively as well in the first stage of Route 66 when they swapped, and they found a little bit of value. Not as much as they were getting though as Genji, with the blade though. But yeah, Boise State definitely is a little more prepared for the blades because that last blade that was committed, it only got clear. It was the only pick they got, and it was just kited and sort of dispersed around, and not able to find a whole lot of value at the end of the day. And yeah, you almost saturate it. You saturate your ability to perform exceedingly well when you do something too much especially against a team like Boise State, who's of a higher caliber, and isn't just going to be like, oh, that just happened. Okay, let's just press W key to the team again. No, they're gonna pick you apart a little bit and figure out a way to get around it.
Movement abilities. They're gonna run away.
Yeah, exactly. You can't target the Kiriko. That's what we know for sure.
And I do want to talk a little bit about Kiriko versus Ana on the main heels right now because both of them have been getting a lot of value. Ana, the advantage Kiriko has over Ana is Kiriko can kind of defend themselves from the enemy diving on them. Ana definitely needs the help of the Brig, and so I think with the Ana pick, you're really locking both of your supports, right? Like you're running Ana, and then you're running against a dive. We see the Supreme Queen, Junker Queen. Boise State is going to be really looking to kind of Lucio speed boost, Queen Shao into the enemy team here, and we're going to see if UNLV is ready for it, as both of these teams are just poking right now. Oh, sneaky Mapper.
Almost both the tanks are being a little sneaky. Clear getting really low. This Doomfish trying to find the pick is going to be a little surprised by Matt Burke sitting here. Ooh, that Genji's real low. Going to take the hit at the end of the day.
Matt Merck is going to lead the rest of their team to victory. Actually, Boise State and UNLV are currently even as Matt Merck gets a little bit of couple of shots onto Haydog there, who is immediately going to run back. Kiriko's going to go low. We see the Suzu committed as Doomfist goes in. This is really a fight as Matt Merck is just going to charge right past the Doomfist, says haha, hello, goodbye, and goes ahead and takes out Hertz. Clear's going to go ahead and get the sticky, and then we see Matt Merck still in on the enemy team, kind of containing them past the arches for the time being. This is an extended fight.
Yeah.
Boise State just keeps pushing cards right to where UNLV keeps backing up to. We see the first ultimate come out of the game. Deadeye's going to go ahead and get Hey Doggo, and I do believe that is a full reset for UNLV, and Boise State has a little bit of an ultimate disadvantage right now.
What do you think about Clear on this McCree so far?
I like Clear on the Cassidy. They're especially playing well with Matt Merck on the Junker Queen. It's important that those two function together, and so far they've been doing that. Matt Merck shouts in, Clear gets the sticky, and that's the next target that you're going to hit. And if it's a squishy, they're already gone.
Yeah, and I think this Genji's feeling it the most as well. I think the opposing defense in general are feeling it. The Nano Doomfist is going to go and try to terrorize the backline, but it's going to be almost completely negated. He's got the block. Oh, it gets pulled back by Matt Merck.
Massive nade tries to salvage this fight, though, and it's going to take out Bagel, but Matt Merck is still in on the enemy team, and Plato's putting so much damage into them, they just have to back up around that cart. We see both healers in the corner. Plato's going to get taken down to 60, now 110, as they get some loving sticky notes tapped on their back there. We see the Reckoning, but immediately after that, Matt Merck is going to get stuck and taken down. But from the Netherworld, grabs a ghostly hand onto Hey Doggo's ankle and takes him down with them.
You gotta patch the bleeding before you bleed out.
Matt Merck just kind of leisurely walk back from spawn as Boise State is in front of UNLV spawn. We do see the Reinhardt coming out. UNLV has decided they don't like that Junker Queen in particular. They're going to try to beat her in the brawl.
I do see Blades here way before I see Nano, so I'll be a little curious on whether they're going to commit it before they do, and they definitely do. But Clear's going to get the one pick. Hurt's going to find one as well. This Genji's really low. They're going to go down to boot, but they're kind of backcapping a little bit. Oh, but they're just going to get dove.
Maverick's going to drop right on them.
Not much of a chance.
And with that, it looks like Boise State is setting up for the next fight. Chosen with a triple kill.
How's it going?
Fantastic job just punching Lucio right in the mouth, sending him back. Boise State has an overclock and a high noon that they can kind of use as UNLV is looking to approach this point. It'll be up to which Cassidy to see which ultimate gets more value. And we see the Genji swap over the Sojourner. With that, we see the High Noon committed, doesn't actually get any value other than reload right now. Boise State backs off a little bit to kind of respect the NaNoRyan, but we're still in this fight. NaNoRyan's half, the Queen is half. Queen is gonna get taken down. That's some Redicide right there, hurts. Bagel's gonna wall ride the edge of the map to try to get his team out of here. Plato says there is no saving me.
Gonna get laser beam out of field of view here. A little bit of chip damage this Sojourn's doing. The switch on the Mei as well. They tried this last time. I believe it was on control. They didn't find much success with it, so I'm wondering if they're going to find it again as well. Deadeye's going to be committed along with the speed boost from the Lucio, trying to find something, trying to break this Ryan's shield. Is going to get enough damage, though, to get the elimination.
Peekaboo around the bot. Stick is going to go ahead and take down Kernmaster. Now Boise State can really kind of crack in, dig their claws into UNLV right now as they just run into the enemy team. May's going to get punched in the back of the head, and now Boise State has the right to push again.
And push is such just like a prolonged game mode as well. I mean, you're barely 75 meters in inside of Boise State, and you still have 5 minutes left to go. So it's really sort of a battle of endurance a little bit. Oh, and the on top the head shatter. Oh!
Goodbye, Matt Merck. You will be missed and
Wow.
remembered fondly. Bagel's going to get slept by that on it. Hey, Doggo's just hitting all kinds of skill sleeps. There is no saving them as soon as they touch that ground, and you know you have that Sojourn there to catch you up. And Boise State just says, all right, we'll give you a little bit of distance here.
They're going to contest in the middle point here, not looking to give them too much ground. They're going to lose the speed of that bot as soon as they make contact with the barrier. Sort of setting a crossfire here a little bit. Here's Matt Merck.
Sense of reckoning, perhaps? As Kitsune Rush is going to come out. Matt Merck is in your backline, barely living, even through the charge. Be sure to thank your supports for letting you live that long. The Nano's going to come out, though, and Boise State, with no tank, is going to have to back up all the way to Blue Barricade. Fight isn't over yet as Bagel's kind of taxiing his team out of there.
Ryan is right on somebody right now. Plato be put to sleep. Ryan's really extending pretty far out here. Kernmaster's gonna get the Lucio diff for the moment only, though. She's getting extended 23 meters here. He's gonna respawn with the beat available. They also have Snow Globe that's available as well inside of UNLV.
Who doesn't love a good souvenir Snow Globe? Coliseum. Matt Merck is looking for their way in, probably going to drop off the high ground onto the backline. No, instead just going to challenge that Mei directly in the Reinhardt. Forced to use block in the middle of the enemy team. That's always a feels bad. There is no living past that. Unfortunately, drops the Snow Globe right there. How did he pin him from around the corner?
Oh, and he
luckily for Bagel, lives though, and it looks like Boise State is up and now has the opportunity to try to run that bot. I feel like we've been here before. This particular hallway seems very familiar.
Yeah, you know, it really does. It's sort of, it's really confusing me because I feel like on a lot of these maps I don't see the same scenery too many times, but no need to digress too far. So just holding high ground here. The Ryan is going to drop down, supported by the Mei, trying to find something.
That's the beginning of the fight. We see High Noon immediately gets left. Ooh, that Ana just barely around the corner says, let me just, nap time. And immediately after that, just Shatter. There is no support to kind of get people through that, and that is Boise State down 2, running away.
That Ryan was most definitely trying to predict where Big was going to go. So pushing pretty far up here. This is going to be able to swift step away.
When the supports can run away, you know that they were positioned very well.
Yeah.
When they can kind of reset after a fight and not get eliminated. We see that Reinhardt, we see that wall. UNLV is trying to funnel Boise State right into that Reinhardt, and Plato's just going to try to slide right through him, but Reinhardt's going to get nanoed and turn Plato into hammer paste. As Matt Merck is still in on that Ryan, getting healed by their Kiriko, a couple of loving sticky notes to the back of the neck. And it looks like Boise State is still in this fight, even as UNLV backs up and gives them some ground. State is contesting. We see the Kitsune Rush come out. Those shurikens are going at Mach 5 right now, pumping all kinds of damage in. And then Hey Doggo's going to get punch clear in the face, but then bleed to death, unfortunately. And Boise State is going to stop UNLV just before they take the lead.
They are gonna capture that second point though. So not a complete loss for them as their Lucio is able to get the last second touch, but they still got 12 meters left to go, which doesn't seem like that much, but in a fight like this, as the time is running out.
Matt
like
Merck's looking for a rampage right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Probably to start this fight off, looking for a rampage past the Reinhardt into their backline, I think is what he's looking for right now. We see the Reinhardt get booped back, taken to half. Matt Merck is looking pretty weak themselves with their answering beat. It's just barely going to be enough to save him. Thank your Lucios, kiddos, as the Queen goes off on a rampage, purpling 3 members of the enemy team immediately, and those 3 members immediately after that go all the way to the Shadow Realm, which Sugar Queen currently rules over in the kill feed.
Oh, this fight, yeah, that fight lasted nearly 40 seconds right there. That's such a bleed out for UNLV. As Hammer is Hammer down.
He forgot the robot.
Oh no.
He's lost without direction.
A robot needs directive, needs order to get the job done. Once again, they're going to hold high ground here. Still hold on to this Ryan here. Have Snow Globe, have Nano as well. The last time that Ryan got nanoed, it was dangerous. They're going to take control back of the bot. On it. No contest quite here by Boise State. They know they got the room to play with. They're going to choose the cover to play around as well, which is smart. Matt Merck also has Deadeye. Yeah, there it is. Oh,
Walls
wow.
off is only able to break the mid. We see the Snow Globe come out, and unfortunately, Plato and Matt Burt get Frostbite, putting Boise State down 2. And now Boise State just needs to stop UNLV with a single fight.
Clearing out a lot of the ultimates, but UNLV has both support ultimates. We also have Kitsune Rush on the side of Boise State as well, though. An overclock, which if Plato's able to find, Clear's not able to find it, though.
The last shot onto that Ana. Now, no, she's not behind the car. The fight truly begins as Plato's going to commit overclock. Immediately clock that in May in the head. We see the answering beat, but it's not enough to save May. Boise State just pumping damage into the enemy team right now. Plato's got to win the battle of the Soldier and is unfortunately going to lose, and now UNLV is in control of the high ground. That's dangerous, even as they don't have enough members to stay on card anymore. Doesn't really matter if you have the high ground.
Yeah. There it is. Simply not enough to go onto it as well. Boise State's going to capture round 4 for themselves. And we're going to take a moment to appreciate Clear's play of the game.
Zeus's favorite child, once again, bringing back play of the game with Cassidy. We see a fan hammer. That's new. We haven't seen that in a while.
No honor, honestly.
And then the rest of them are just very well-placed body and headshots.
Yeah.
So, kind of making up for the dishonor of the body shot.
A little bit. Got a little bit of skill mixed in there with it. And Boise State is your Mountain West Conference regular season winner of the matchup, 3-1 against UNLV. Pretty close game, honestly. Are we both in agreement with that one? For
yes,
both, yeah.
I do think it was a close game. I think what really kind of cinched it for Boise State was the pivot off of the Genji. I don't know that UNLV was super prepared to pivot off of the Genji, and they kind of had to readjust their whole play style. And Boise State at that point had already pushed almost to right outside their spawn doors. Yeah. And at that point, that's just too much ground for UNLV to make up, especially on those push maps.
Yeah, especially push as well. Push is one of the, I think, can feel the most drawn out, at least, in terms of...
Oh, yeah. We walked through that Coliseum hallway 7 times. It's like, I think we've been here before.
I think we've been here before. The bot,
once or twice.
Is that the bot's fastest speed? Are you sure?
Can you Lucio speed boost him?
Perhaps
a Kitsune Rush.
I honestly, that wouldn't be too bad of a patch. But as we go into the next segment of it, who's your elected member of Boise State's Overwatch team for the player of the game?
So, I think Overwatch 2 would tell you Clear, because they were obviously just giving Clear play of the game after play of the game after play of the game. I would like to kind of nominate Lyric as an unsung hero, because there were definitely, and then that kind of leads me into who I think our player of the game should be, which is Matt Merck. Lyric was the ground that Matt Merck stood upon to perform great things.
Yeah, the support's always going to go unnoticed, no matter almost what game you play in, unless the supports can end up getting the kill cam as well. We do have a choice between 3. Yeah, Bagel. Both the supports honestly could deserve medals alone from that. The amount of times Bagel had like a life-saving beat, it was like at least 3 times.
Immediately after this, there was that shatter, and then we see Bagel with the beat, and it looks like that enabled Boise State to kind of go in. You see there were some purple health bars, but that doesn't matter when you have a bunch of overshield kind of going into there.
So into the second of it. I believe this is a a goblin play. Actually, not 100% sure on any of that.
And then it looks like Matt Merck on the Junker Queen. We see the snow globe. Hertz drops the Panic Ultimate, and immediately after that is punished by Clear. We see the pin of a round
crazy.
Bagel. Some of these Reinhardt pins are absolutely insane. There's Bagel's on the other side of the wall, and Reinhardt was just able to thread the needle and curve that.
The part that surprised me so often was the Rhine didn't believe they got that. They canceled the charge. They canceled the charge. I bet they
that
honestly
would have been a smushed frog otherwise.
They are so mad at themselves. They are extremely mad at themselves. They said I had the pick, but I clicked the button. I'm sorry, but yeah.
I'm sorry.
I clicked the button and get into the end of it. I believe that was I believe. I'll make as the host of it. I'll make the decision. We're gonna give it a bagel.
For all the beats.
For all the beats, honestly, I think that's all it really needs to be, because the amount of times that honestly was saving there, at least for Coliseum as well, when the Rhine got the shatter off.
I want to say there was a good 50 or something beats.
Yeah, 50 might be exaggerated.
50 on all parties.
Oh, okay, alrighty. I thought you meant like 50 like beats in total. I was like, that's a little crazy there. But yeah, no, I think if we're in agreement, we'll give it a bagel.
Of course.
Solid. I mean, yeah. We're in agreement there. Do you have any, maybe?
It looks like we're going back.
Production?
I believe this is our player of the game, and this was the play immediately after the shatter. So before putting all this damage in, Bagel, without exaggeration, saved the entire team that had been laid out by the enemy Reinhardt.
Yeah. Unsung hero, honestly, is what you called it, and I think there's no better description for any high tier support player at the end of the day.
And we also saw Bagel get some of the fastest Lucio beats that we've seen in the Mountain West Championship, especially on Route 66 when that first fight was so long. Bagel was one of the first people to get the Lucio ultimate, and it was just that was one fight. That was a one-fight Lucio beat, which is almost unheard of. Usually it takes a fight and a half or a fight and a little bit, but nope, it was just the one.
And the player of the game is brought to you by Auto Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Auto Central's helping members achieve financial success. Bagel is your Auto Central Credit Union player of the game. And as we ended out the series of Mountain West, do we have any closing thoughts here on Deaths from you, Colby?
Hopefully Boise State can make this a repeat performance just this weekend at the LAN, but UNLV definitely also has a couple of days to prepare some counter strats too.
Oh yeah. I think you mentioned at the beginning of it. We're hyped. We're
hyped.
So
hyped. We love having people in arena.
Please visit more. The LAN's going to be absolutely amazing. Make sure to tune into that. But as we wrap up, we're going to leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, which are presented by the Adam National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills and decision of choice between different job offerings with a $20,000 bonus and a degree of your choice paid for by the Adam National Guard. Reach out to them at Twitch at iGuardTwitch.gaming. It's been a joy here casting on the desk for you tonight. Have a wonderful, lovely rest of your night. Amazing, beautiful night. See ya.
Hey, Doggo's going to do that. Clear is just waiting to drop probably the Reaper ultimate of a lifetime there, though they're only 84. Plato is going to commit the overclock as well as the Kitsune Rush. That is a dangerous Sojourn right now. As Hertz is going to Beyblade, immediately get Clear, Chosen, and Plato, and Matt Berg is also going to go down. That is ruining Boise State.
Oh, I'm saying it's effective. It's not valid. Still trying the same above the ground strategy.
As the fight begins, we see Hammer down. We do see a well-placed beat by Bagel save the entire team. Be sure to thank your Lucio there, Boise State. We see that Tracer on the point, gonna be forced to use recall or be sent to small.
Wipe anyway to get a last-second touch here. It's
all right.
Up to Clear to get a last-second.
Looks like we're beginning next touch. Clear's gonna get on the point immediately. The Beyblade onto 2. That is Boise State now up 3 as Hertz is gonna go down as well. Boise State, they say we're coming for 3rd point, and there's nothing you can do to stop us.
Yeah, there's that cleanup there. Letting Boise State dive into them and keep, getting picks and staggering them. Again, getting 1. Ooh,
oh
Clear
my gosh.
good for 1. Almost got the 2nd as well.
It's always sad as on it when you get the sleep onto the noon, but also do I do it yourself. Bagel's going to go ahead and res Lyric. Amazing, going to keep Boise State in this fight. It looks like UNLV is
relatively soon in that team fight as well. They're able to just completely hold out.
Chosen's so far up.
And they're not punishing this at all because they know Chosen can get away whenever they want. So they're just going to stick the horn on the high ground and trying to get something, but Death Blossom gets 3! And the Immortality as well, looking for the 4th, and he's going to get it.
Press